Hey you guys, this is Raphael from Relics.com. I hope you're all doing well today. Hope you're having a good day. And I hope you realize that today is a very important day in American history. 155 years ago today, President Abraham Lincoln went to see My American Cousin, a play that was being held at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. While he was in his private booth, there was a man that came up the stairs, a very famous American actor, John Wilkes Booth, opened up the door and shot him with a Derringer revolver at the base of the skull. He would live another day, but everything in the course of events of American history changed with that bullet. Many people, myself included, think that that was one of the worst days in American history, because up to that point, President Lincoln had realized that it took those Confederate stars to make the American flag. And he was of a mind to make a more peaceful reconciliation when those southern states came in. But after Booth shot him and he died, most of the people up north decided it needed to be vengeance. We're very fortunate. One of the few things that I personally like Grant for is that he realized it needed to be a peaceful reconciliation. So everything in the world changed today, 155 years ago. And I thought it would be a great time to look back at some of the pieces of memorabilia relating to President Abraham Lincoln, because he was an amazing man, like him or not. He was an amazing politician. He realized how to use the power of the office of president to get what he wanted and get what he believed was the right course for everybody. Lincoln was born February 12, 1809. And he was born in Kentucky. The people in Illinois tried to steal him, but he was born in Kentucky, just a few miles away from where the Confederate president Jefferson Davis was born. So Kentucky had both presidents come from their state. I've got a few pieces that I currently have for sale on ShilohRelics.com relating to Lincoln. And Lincoln memorabilia is a wonderful thing to collect because there is everything you can imagine and in every price range. The pieces relating to Lincoln, there are photographs, there are documents, there are chances occasionally to actually own something that he owned or signed. There are autographs, there's documents. I've got a little bit of a variety to show you today. We'll start off with one of the things that are more common, but they're beautiful. And this is an original 1864 presidential ballot. And when you hear people refer to it as being on the ballot, back then they actually cast a paper ballot for who they wanted to vote for. And this one came from Ohio. Several years ago, a huge cache of original ballots came out of Ohio. And they'll be from different counties. This one is from Washington County. It has an Ohio Union presidential ticket, has Lady Liberty, Abraham Lincoln, and Andrew Johnson. And it had the list of electors that would vote for the president from the state of Ohio. These, because you see a fair amount of them, they're not super scarce, but they're pretty. I even have one framed up on my dining room wall with a photograph of Lincoln, because he was an impressive politician. These will sell today between $150 and $200. This one's really pretty, nice bright colors. I've got it on the site for $195. Here we have a famous picture of the younger looking Lincoln. This is a CDV image that they would produce to let people that see what the people that were written about in the newspapers of the day look like. This one is a famous image. It's called the Cooper Union. It was taken right before he gave a speech at the Cooper Union. This one will sell for about $295 these days. Over here, we have a larger size format image, and these are called albumins. This one shows the weathered Lincoln. There are very few men that ever stayed in office that were visibly aged the way Lincoln was from the time he took office in 1860 until he died in April 15th, 1865. When you see the comparison of those before and after pictures, I don't know why anybody would want the job, and still don't today, but at least it's not me. This one, larger image. Larger doesn't always mean better. Larger doesn't always mean more valuable. This one's worth about $195 today. Now, if you are able to and want to step up as far as much as you spend on a piece, I have a couple of really cool documents. And the first is a clip signature. It has A. Lincoln, and he almost always put the date that he signed it on it. This one is dated February 16th, 1864. So right in the heart of the war, really clear signature. It's been clipped. And back early on, a lot of the collectors wanted the autograph. They didn't care about the document. So believe it or not, they took an original document, possibly completely handwritten by Lincoln, and just cut out the signature because that's all they wanted. This one today is on sale on the website, ShilohRelics.com, for $4,950. It's kind of cool to say that you have something that was in the hands of the most influential man in America in 1864. Now, sometimes you get an opportunity to own a document that wasn't mutilated and the signature just taken off of it. The top piece here is one of those pieces. This one was written by General George Meade's brother. And George Meade, the famous general at Gettysburg, leading the Union forces, his brother was a captain in the Navy. He didn't think he'd been treated fairly. And so what do? You write to your superiors, and it ends up in Lincoln's hand. It's a large document. I've just got one of the sheets out here today. He writes his case, and it gets forwarded up, and it's actually in the hands of Lincoln. And Lincoln was an amazing reader. He was a lawyer before the war, and it's kind of cool to hold those pages and think, at one time, Lincoln was sitting there reading this. When he got through reading it, he made his notation up in the corner, forwarding it on, and he signs it, A. Lincoln, December 4th, 1862. So it's a good bit earlier than the other autograph that we have. It's on pretty blue paper, and it's just the history that's wrapped up in one of the pieces that you get to enjoy. And you think about, what was he thinking? What did he do right before this? What did he do right after this? Because December 1862, he's worried that the Confederacy is going to be back in Washington, because they're fighting less than 100 miles from D.C. And all those things wrapped together, to me, make a piece special. This one I've got on the site for $7,950. But it's the history that goes into it that gives it the value. You can collect Lincoln memorabilia of any price. You can find reproductions. There's a little bit of everything out there. Lincoln has one of the largest areas of collecting of the Civil War. And I hope I've gotten to share some of the importance of Lincoln memorabilia with you. And I hope that you realize what a special man he was. Whether you like him or not, important people are important people. The collecting of Lincoln memorabilia is something that I have enjoyed and appreciated for a long time. Glad I got to share these pieces with you. I hope that you all are healthy and safe. I hope that if you get a penny in change today, you flip it over and say, I know that today's the day that he was assassinated. And I told you that. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you stay safe. I hope when you get a chance that you remember to be kind to one another. And I hope you remember one thing above all. I love you guys.